The grand debate is around, should we reform the Democratic Party? Should we try to win power in the Democratic Party? Or should we do a dirty break? Dirty break is basically means that you try to find the opportunity to leave the Democratic Party in such a way that you do the maximum amount of damage in the hopes of supplanting the Democratic Party with a new left-wing party. So reforming the Dems is you go through the internal processes of the Democratic Party and you win power by taking it over and winning nominations in the Democratic Party, and then you lead the Democratic Party left. Or you do the dirty break, which is you leave the Democratic Party in mass in hopes of destroying it and replacing it with a new progressive, left-wing, socialist, labor, whatever party. And I think a lot of people think that we don't have time to leave the Dems. And unfortunately, you're wrong, because reforming the Dems is not viable. Taking over the Democrats is not viable. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. But here is the problem. You're not really considering reality when you talk about taking over the Democratic Party. So let's talk about what I mean by that. Okay, first of all, reforming the Dems requires taking control of the Democratic Party. The first problem is you're not treating neoliberal centrists as entities of their own. This is the main problem that you have. Even if we win, I'm going to grant you everything. We win all the primaries. We get 100 and some people to come in and primary Democrats all across the country. They all win. Right? We take over the Democratic Party. The problem that you have is that that doesn't make the centrist Democrat neoliberals stay Democrats. They can decamp at that point. They can do the same thing I'm telling us we need to do. The centrist Democrats led by Barack Obama could do a dirty break of their own and start their own centrist liberal party. And the only problem is now they're the fresh party. Now they're the new party. And you have the fucking hated, twisted, wrecked Democratic Party. You're the one who has all of the baggage, except now you don't have you don't have the billionaire money. You don't have the institutional money. All the reasons you wanted to keep the Democratic Party has been fundamentally undermined. Why do I think this is a possibility? It's called France. That's exactly what happened with Emmanuel Macron. So the idea that you're just going to win the Democrats and the neoliberals are going to go along with it is wrong. We also have seen that happen in America already. For example, in Buffalo, New York. In Buffalo, New York, a progressive left-winger won the Democratic nomination for mayor. And what did the incumbent Democratic mayor do? He ran as an independent. He ran as a write-in campaign. And the Democratic Party in New York supported him over the Democratic nominee. The institutions of the Democratic Party supported him, and he was able to win because the Republicans and the Democrats united against the Democratic progressive. And this is also true if you look at 2020. All of the stories that came out about how the Democratic Party was going to risk party damage to stop Bernie. They are ideologically opposed to you. We can't ally with the liberals because they will not ally with us. All they'll do is they'll use you. At best, you will be able to hold a few backbench seats. That's the squad. Bernie Sanders, the squad. It doesn't matter if they're hyper popular on social media. They have no leadership position. They have no power. So that's number one. Number one is you're not treating neoliberal centrists like an independent hostile entity, which they are. The other problem is we have primary elections and we have general elections. The people that support us and populist leftism, which is the majority of the American people, they are much less likely to vote in primaries. So let's say the current Democratic Party is 65% progressives, 35% conservative, neoliberals. That's not true. It's actually more like 80-20, but I'm just giving you an example that will help you understand. The types of people that voted primaries are upscale, white, and more college educated. These are the types of people that are more conservative ideologically, more liberal ideologically. They identify more with the Democratic Party as an identity than they do with an ideological plan. These are the people that are not as open to our message. And the people that are, they show up in general elections when all the important questions have been decided. So you're literally structuring your political fucking strategy towards maximum failure. The highest turnout is in general elections in the presidential election year. You're not winning primaries that have 20% turnout, 50% turnout. The third thing, we can't restrict corporate or super PAC money in Democratic primaries. If we started our own party, we could actually make rules against giving nominations to people that receive super PAC money, receive super PAC support. We could actually set our own bylaws. You can make a bylaw and say this person cannot receive this party's nomination if they X, Y, and Z. In Democratic primaries, AIPAC and Republican billionaires spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to select the most right-wing Democrats they can. Whereas in a new party, we could say you're not allowed to do that. And if you do, you automatically lose the fucking primary. You've been so cucked by vote blue no matter who that you've never actually thought about this stuff with any depth. And the third and the final thing, and the most important thing, is the Democratic Party isn't even worth winning. The Democratic Party is unpopular. The Democratic Party is despised. So you win the Democratic Party, and all that happens is you discredit your movement. Average, everyday people hate your guts. Just 7% of Americans have a very favorable opinion of the Democratic Party, the lowest number ever recorded. I'm not saying that I'm not going to support left-wing candidates in Democratic primaries now. I will. It's called being a strategic voter. If I could get more left-wingers in elected office, I'm going to do it. But what I am saying is, as a movement, we need to begin the conversation out of the black hole that is vote blue no matter who, lesser evil voting, and start talking about how that has checkmated us from any political relevance.